from Mississippi State this upcoming weekend. Coach Billy Napier spoke with the media yesterday, expressing the importance of putting all their focus on the next game.
As a staff and throughout the organization, we have to do our part to model what we would expect from the players and want from the players. And that, for me, is total focus on the next opportunity to improve, right? You know, we're going to put the game to bed from Saturday, and then it's about doing my absolute best to prepare the team to play next Saturday. And we can't live in the shoulda, coulda, woulda, if, then, all that.
Gators and Mississippi State kick off at 12 o'clock on Saturday. Catch the game live on 1010XL. It's 84 degrees at 2 o'clock. Time and temp brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Attention.
They are not ready for prime time.
Prime time.
Prime time.
Prime time. That's the name.
Prime time.
Prime time. What time is it? Showtime. Prime time.
It's XL Prime Time, featuring Joe C.
I reduced my toilet paper down to 3 squares.
Matt Hayes.
Big asses and big thighs, yeah.
And Leon Searcy.
Bringing you love, peace, and soul.
How you like me now? How you like me now?
A day further away from 0-2. Are you a day closer to 0-3? I don't know. I do not know. But we have got some Jaguar ball to talk about. That's for sure a full house right here on XL Prime Time as we get it cranked on a Beaver Chevy, Beaver Toyota Tuesday. They can definitely offer you a great deal. They're there to wow you, so you can check them out any day of the week. But we love them bringing you Tuesday right here on XL Prime Time. And I think we should start off this show. We welcome our head coach, Coach Campo, in to hang out with us. But I see Matty back from his USA Today network sports duties. And two big things that he easily wanted to chime in on yesterday that I know. One would be line play for your Jacksonville Jaguars, and then the other one would be what's the line on who's going to get that job down in Gainesville. Those would be the two bigger topics that you might have missed out on a little bit yesterday. That's for sure.
What's the classic episode when Frank Costanza stands up? It's the Christmas the Christmas episode with
the airing of the grievances.
I got a lot of problems with you people.
Yeah.
Let me just say this real quick, if I may, before we go any further, okay? Don't let them tell you that they're 3 plays away from being 2-0. Mm-hmm. Do not let them tell you that if ETN doesn't fumble that ball, and if Little makes that field goal, and if Johnson gets set on that motion, they're 2-0. Do not let them tell you that, because that's a bunch of bunk.
Guess what? I think Coach may have 6 plays that he's going to give you.
So let me just say this, too, and we can get into the offensive line. You guys know how I feel about the offensive line. I was a guy saying you should draft guard, okay? So we all know that, all right? So you go 58 and a half minutes of getting your ass kicked in the trenches, okay? They couldn't block anyone in pass protection. I don't care who it was. They couldn't block them, okay? So now you're backed up in your goal line. You've got a chance to unbelievably tie this game or maybe even win it. Who knows, right?
Yeah.
For some reason, Cleveland's throwing the ball when they could have just ran the clock.
Yeah.
So they give you a gift. Protection's not the only problem. Structurally, this offense is terrible. So what happens? You've been getting your ass kicked the entire game. They come out and 11 personnel. They come out with 3 receivers and a tight end who's not on the line. He's off. So you're basically in 4 wides.
Once again.
And a running back.
Yeah, you've not formed a plan to protect the quarterback.
As soon as the ball is snapped, the running back bleeds out. Mm-hmm. You have no protection for your quarterback. Yeah. You're at the goal line with a chance to tie the game. Go max protect and tell Brian Thomas to beat his guy. And then have your $275 million quarterback make the throw because he can make the throw. Yep. He is a very talented player. And before we get any further, I'm just going to say this and you guys can take over because I'm so annoyed right now. They're going to blow another year of this kid. They are going to blow another year of this kid, waste another year because they can't protect and because structurally that offense is absolutely a mess.
Yeah, I'm not going to take him off the hook, but I'm certainly not going to put him top of the list. But, Leon, I did have to admit on the thread, you and Matty, both of you guys have been balking about the offensive line. I had to admit it because it was at the most crucial time, it was disaster.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I've been reached out
by former Jaguar players that have watched the offense, that play offensive line with me, and asking me what the hell's going on, Big Surf. We can't block anybody. We're not physical. We can't run block. We can't pass protect. I mean, simple. The sack, for instance, and Coach and I were just talking about it. Yeah. The sack was a slide protection, all right? Coach and I were just talking about it, where everybody thinks that Ezra Cleveland just got beat up. And he did for the most part, but he knows that the center's coming to his side.
One of many plays.
So he's got to check the guy outside, but he's got to be physical with the guy. He's got to hit the guy. He's got to look outside, and then he's got to come back and help. And then Mitch Morris just has to work with him. That still doesn't help. They still get beat ups. They still get beat in between to give up. There's 4-man protection. It's only a 4-man rush. It's only a 4-man rush. So that means you got a double team on one where he splits in and gets the sack. And that's just one. Your man, Sheriff. Sheriff has outplayed his welcome.
Do not say your man.
No, I'm sorry. My man. Sheriff, he's outplayed. He gets overwhelmed. He gets beat inside. He gets pushed back. Anton Harrison has digressed. Yeah. I mean, what I saw in practice, his sets are the same sets
he has regressed.
Yeah. He has regressed. I mean, his sets that were in practice are the same sets that he does in the game. He has to finally realize that whatever he's doing in practice is not good enough, and it's a shame that someone is not bringing that to his attention. Because what's happening is in practice, he's setting the way he's setting, and he's blocking the guy because they're not going full speed.
So that could be a Phil Rauscher.
Well, he was also, let's be honest, I don't mean to interrupt you. He was kind of, given a lot of time off in camp too.
He was.
Not for nothing.
He was
walking around in sweats a lot during camp.
Well, that's because what was it? Was it a concussion protocol for him?
No, it was more than that. It was more than that.
Might have been
He started out with a problem. There was some kind of injury that kept him.
Shoulder or ham. I don't
know what it was. Well, my point is, if you miss that much, he missed a lot of actual contact. Well, then it's not really contact, so we'll call it thud days and individual drills of camp. You miss that amount. You know what he looks like? He looks like Jawan Taylor's his first season was really good. Second year, huge drop-off. That's what he looks like right now.
Yeah, it's no bueno right now. And, Coach, I'm going to let you try and convince them that sixth place could make this team 2-0 instead of 0-2.
Don't listen to him if he does it. Do not listen to him.
But you did mention, we just wrapped up our Campo and Joe podcast, what's the main concern that you have, just like a lot of other people out there?
Well, first of all, Matty, I can't dispute what you're saying. So we're on the same page, bro. There's no question that we've been talking about this offensive line from day one, and in some ways it was a bill of goods because it was based on which you hate, injury. They didn't play together or they didn't do this or that, which you hate.
Right. They only played together one time, they said, remember?
I disagreed with you on the quarterback situation of being hurt, but with the offensive line, I have to agree, that you're right. Here's when I look at this offensive football team, inconsistency is all over the place. I'm talking about in the offensive line, you look at they'll run a running play, and one guy makes a mistake. Then the next play, another guy makes a mistake.
Right.
I'll promise you this. If I was getting ready with this team right here, my entire offensive thought process would be on first and second down. I wouldn't even practice 3rd and 7+ because we got no shot in 3rd and 7+ because we're going to get too much pressure on the quarterback. I would develop a game plan where everything is based on 3rd down, on 3rd and 5 or less. And guess what? The route that Cleveland ran, they were in the same boat as we were.
Right.
Okay? They were terrible on 3rd down.
Right.
And what did they run on 3rd and 8? They ran a pick route that you run on 3rd and 4 or 5, and they ran away from 30 for a first down and a big drive. So, to me, I'm going to find a way to protect the quarterback on 1st and 2nd down and stay out of 3rd and long, because if we do, we're in trouble with this group. And you said it, the pass blocking has been
Let me tell you something. If you were the head coach of that team, I don't even know who called that play at the goal line. Are you going out there in 11 personnel at your own goal line?
No, I think you got to find a way to protect the quarterback. To me, whether you have to go with 3-man routes.
Whatever you do, you keep a back end
routes.
right.
Yeah.
I don't even, that's to me, when they came out and that said, I was like, what are you doing?
Yeah. There have been some really, really key moments in ball games where you leave scratching your head going, what the H just happened? And I totally get it. But I'm trying to figure out the hierarchy of problems because I can't keep blaming the offensive coordinator when the head coach is as gifted an offensive mind as there is on this football team.
100%.
Yeah, and maybe most responsible.
100%. Yes.
Yeah. And so that is what's bothering me more than anything else. And then if Trevor does get fired up to a point where he's pissed off, he's basically saying we suck right now. Is he going to mandate I-275? Is he going to mandate that we need some things that are going to make me make more plays?
He's definitely got to be more vocal. Absolutely. He's watching the film. He's seeing that what he has. He knows right now that this offensive line is struggling. They're struggling in protection. So I agree with Coach. What you've got to do is you've got to devise a way because you got to go to Buffalo. It's going to be a hostile environment.
Oh, yeah.
That team is red hot. The team that we play after that is red hot as well. So what you got to do is you got to somehow methodically, like Coach said, keep it in third and short situations because penalties, illegal procedures, holdings, all that kind of stuff kills plays. So you can't have mental breakdowns. You got to run the ball effectively. You got to take your shot, and you got to put yourself in situations where you can either run the ball or pass the ball in third. Because right now, us going to 3 or 4 wides where you can't protect doesn't make any sense.
I agree with you, but here's the problem, and I want to get your thoughts on this too, Dave. Here's the problem with this is this passing game is not good at first level throws. They're just not. They make their biggest strides in second and third level throws, especially the second level throws. Like if he can get 2 seconds back there, he can make a nice timing second level throw. That's where those guys get open. That's where you can find holes in a secondary. The first level stuff just gets eaten up quickly, and you're not going to get into a situation where you're going to move down the field. It's, to me, I look at this, and we talked about this before we came on the air. They decided before this season that they were going to go with the, quote, athletic linemen. Remember? Mm-hmm. They wanted the guys that could get to the perimeter. They wanted the guys that could do the zone blocking. Instead of just getting guys that are standing there and mauling somebody.
I'm all for zone blocking if they actually do
it.
Right.
So, and here's my thing, too. Another thing, and this is, I'm going all over the place right now because I'm so frustrated. If I'm Shad Khan, I walk into Doug Marrone and into Trent Baalke and I say,
don't call him Doug Marrone.
Don't call him
Doug Marrone. Doug Peterson. Doug Peterson and Trent Baalke, and I say,
it's a nightmare.
And I literally just say, why can't we block anybody?
Yeah.
That's it. Just ask that question.
Well, it goes to the organizational fail.
It does. Top to bottom. I mean, he's got to be accountable for it too, right? Huh? He said organization, top to bottom. He's a part of the organization.
They didn't take a lineman in the first round.
No,
didn't take a lineman in the second round. Didn't take a lineman in the third round. They did take a defensive tackle who was, oh, by the way, inactive.
Yeah.
In the second round.
Well, I mean, listen, and Shad Khan also spent $500 million on contracts. He's not getting a return on his investment.
No, because
why can't we block? And who's the guy coaching? That would be my question.
Well,
if I was Shad Khan.
And to add to that, the contract that Josh Hines Allen got.
Yeah, that part too.
Two backup tackles, and how many times did Deshaun hit the ground?
Well, first off, it was at one point they had a guard playing.
Yeah.
They had a guard playing tackle because one of the Dewan Jones, the kid from Ohio State, got injured.
Yeah, they had third tackle.
And by the way, just back to my Peterson criticism, give Stefanski credit for dealing with how many times did the ref number 70 is tackle eligible, number 70, and he said it over and over and over again, and I'm like, Stefanski's basically neutralizing any pass rush by putting an extra guy out there. When you have a liability, you find an answer to your liability.
Right. Meanwhile, 11 personnel on the goal line. Hey, let's throw it, man.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. I think, when you start opening the sets up all the time, it's 5-out stuff. And unless you got a pretty good offensive line, you're going to have a hard time.
Well, here's another thing. I mean, we're trying to scheme and protect. Everybody on that offensive line is paid handsomely. All right? Yeah. They're professional athletes. I don't want to hear excuses about why this did not need help or whatever. No, get it done.
Yeah, they're actually paid. All 5 of them. Think about that. Cam is, right? Yes. Cleveland just got paid. Mm-hmm. Morse just got paid, right? Sheriff is on the end of a huge deal, and Anton's on his rookie deal.
I'm pretty sure Brandon Sheriff has had to restructure every contract he's had since he's been here because he's making so damn much money.
I mean, to his point, though, you got 5 guys that are earning a ton of money.
Yeah.
And it might be the worst line in the league.
Yeah, easily. Yes, absolutely. The Panthers they rivaled the Panthers.
I'm not going to say worse because
I agree. Well, let me just say this. I agree with you, Leon, except for one thing. It's not their fault that they got paid.
No. You're right.
The decision is to pay him.
Yep.
Right,
Okay.
yeah, of course.
Well, when you make that decision to pay them, it's your responsibility to make sure they're successful.
Yeah.
So that's why we're
That's
saying,
where my era was going. My era was
put
going to
some
Trent
guys-
Baalke's where my era was going. Yes.
Put some guys in there that can help those guys. It can't just be you're getting paid, you got to play better. They made the decision to do that. That's it.
Not only that, after the first time that Myles Garrett went around Cam, don't you just sit down, man, and put Walker Little.
No, you can't do that.
They haven't come
Why?
to that.
Because Walker Little couldn't beat Cam Robinson out in practice.
How much worse
At
could
least
he
he
be at this
hasn't.
point?
At least he hasn't.
Cam is literally the worst of the five guys right now. Is he not?
He's playing bad. Yeah.
All right.
Is he or is he not the worst of the five? All right.
I'm agreeing with you.
Let's keep it going. All right, 641-1010. You guys can hop in the conversation. Text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures. The YouTube stream right there for you, XL Primetime. You can jump in the chat there. We would love to hear what you think about this because there's problems and they need fixing, and we don't know if we've got enough to do it, but we're going to try. Beaver Chevy, Beaver Toyota Tuesday. It's XL Primetime. Talking Jaguar ball. We will definitely get into the college world as well. What is the latest happening down in Gainesville?
Newcomers. The tradition of Festivus begins with the airing of grievances. I got a lot of problems with you people. Now, you're going to hear about it. You.
XL Primetime's Coach Dave Campo is brought to you by Bold City Heating and Air. Online at boldcityac.com. The First Coast Honda Dealer Studios on 1010XL.
Duval. That's right, I'm Tommy Mack, and it's all about Duval and defense. Offense, special teams, baby. Check me out every Friday from 10 to noon on Jaguars Today.
Brought to you by Renewal by Anderson Windows and Doors on 1010XL.
Hey, it's Matt Hayes. The seasons are shifting, but we're not done with the summer heat just yet. And you better believe your AC is still working hard. So do what I did and call the good folks at Fenwick Home Services and stay stress-free with a seasonal tune-up. Don't wait until the wear and tear of the summer heat causes major issues. Book your tune-up with Fenwick's expert technicians to avoid those costly breakdowns. You can trust Fenwick to get your AC running again and get it done right the first time. Book online at FenwickHomeservices.com.
What makes a Honda certified pre-owned vehicle so special? 182-point inspection, 24/7 roadside assistance, first-year free oil changes, and a 7-year, 100,000-mile warranty for carefree driving backed by American Honda. Visit your local Honda dealer today.
We're back. Mia here, and winning season is back. Football is back, and MyBookie is here to make sure you're ready to cash in on the action. This season, MyBookie is pulling out all the stops with incredible promotions, like weekly risk-free boosts on Thursdays, where you can bet without a sweat. If your bet hits, you win big. If it doesn't, forget it. MyBookie will refund your wager. That's just the beginning, folks. MyBookie is giving away hundreds of thousands in prizes with their Super, Survivor, and Squares contests. Get your entries in now for your shot at huge cash rewards. For a limited time, they are bringing back the double deposit bonus. When you're ready to get started, just use promo code 1010XL to claim a bonus that doubles your money on your very first deposit. You heard that right. Double your money with promo code 1010XL before you even place a bet. Not to mention, loyalty pays off with MyBookie Plus. The more you play, the more you win. Climb through tiers of loyalty rewards programs to unlock even more epic promotions. Only with MyBookie.
Guys, feeling deflated in the bedroom? ED, low T, no energy? If your stuff is broken, call 904-STROKEN or 904stroken.com. No shots in the first treatment, now free. Fix your ED at 904stroken.com.
If you suffer from constant burning, tingling, or numbness in your hands or feet, it could be a serious condition called neuropathy. I'm Dr. Nathan Riddle, DC with Riddle Wellness in Ponte Vedra. Neuropathy is treatable, and we have seen great results by using state-of-the-art, non-invasive therapies to target damaged nerves, reduce symptoms, and improve nerve function. Call 904-395-5598 to schedule your free consultation today and learn how you can live pain-free. Call 904-395-5598.
Hello, First Coast. I'm sure by now you have seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We're an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We're committed to customer service, reliability, and have an unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today. From GFL, Green for Life.
It's hard to stop the Tomahawk Chop.
I'm RJ Saunders. Follow Florida State's road to the college football playoff on the Seminole Report.
Brought to you by your local Ag Pro, your home team on 1010XL.
Hey, gang, Prosser here to save you some cash. Maximize your home sale now with the market experts who deliver more money in less time, and those experts are Chad and Sandy Newman. Maybe you're worried about costly repairs or upgrades needed to sell your home. You don't have to worry. The worries are relieved with Chad and Sandy, the local real estate experts we are trusting and recommending with the sale of your home. Chad and Sandy guarantee your home sold at an agreed-upon price and deadline, or they will buy it. Mortgage rates are down. It's time to create your market. Marvin in Cobblestone writes, my siblings and I moved our parents to Maryland so they can get some extra help as they get older. Next, we had to sell the home to get them some financial help for their extra care. We hired Chad and Sandy, and they delivered big. Chad and Sandy's team got our home sold in 7 days above asking price. You can too. Call Chad and Sandy today, 904-414-6200, or go to chadandsandy.com. That's Chad, ANDSANDY.com.
Transmission troubles? I'm Robin Sidbury, owner of Action Transmission Specialist on Merrill Road. So come in and see how we can help solve your transmission troubles. We service all makes and models. Remember, get traction. Call Action at 744-0755.
Hi, I'm Mac with Baker Glass. If you've got fogged up windows, let me help. We'll replace them with clear, insulated units that brighten up your home. People say we're fast, friendly, and reliable. Just check out our Google reviews. Call me today. Baker Glass. No one treats you better.
Homeowners, good news for you. Accent on 4. Listen up. Loan Pronto now has mortgage rates that start with a 4. Prosser here. It's true. Mortgage rates have plummeted. So low, we haven't seen them in a long time. If your current rate is over 6%, you can dump it and lower your house payment big time. Loan Pronto just locked in a homeowner at 4.99% APR. So whether you got your loan last week, last month, or last year, it's time to call Loan Pronto. Even if you're in process with another lender, stop now. Call Loan Pronto. Ask about their zero-cost rate reduction home loan. You can lock in a lower rate with no closing costs in a matter of days, with almost no paperwork and usually no appraisal. And if you act now, you can even skip your next 2 house payments. Call now. Loan Pronto can give you a rate quote in minutes with no hard credit pull and no upfront fees like those other guys. Call 904-999-1508 or loanpronto.com. Call 904-999-1508. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781. Owner approved credit, MLSconsumeraccess.org.
Your car is like part of your family. It takes you to work, drops the kids off at school, goes with you on vacation. You feel safe in your car, but all that can change in an instant due to someone else's carelessness. Now you need money for medical bills, car repairs, lost wages. You need help, and you need it now. If you've been injured in a car accident, call us at 396-5555. Farah and Farah, protecting you and your family since 1979. Jacksonville.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. That just happened. Brought to you by Florida Home AC, the official air conditioning partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Well, we will just set this up with this is how far they've fallen, okay? I'm just going to try and set it up that way. But Reese Davis, who I love, College Game Day, got a great deal of respect for him. He was one of the guys who, when you go back in time, I think he put Michigan #1 preseason last year, and we were giving him a bunch of grief over that, and they ended up running the table and winning. Maybe he knew about the videotaping. I have no idea. But he's come out and said Lane Kiffin has a better job at Ole Miss than he would if he left for Florida. Interesting. Interesting.
It's utter stupidity is what it is.
Utter
stupidity.
Listen,
Lane Kiffin's recruiting footprint at Ole Miss is the state of Mississippi.
Mm-hmm.
He'll get lucky and get a couple kids out of Florida, or maybe a kid from Georgia, maybe a kid from Texas. High school kids I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Because you build a national championship team by recruiting high school kids. That's the foundation.
You maintain them as much as anything. His
footprint at the University of Florida is the first or second best state for high school football in the country.
Yeah.
So to say that it's a lateral move is lunacy, number one, for that reason. Number two, I don't know what Ole Miss will pay him, but my point, if Florida really does want him once Billy Napier is fired, what Florida will have to do, and I don't know if they're willing to do this. We'll see if they have the stones to do it. Is literally call Jimmy Sexton and say, just write the number.
Right.
Just write the number.
We want him.
We'll sign it, and he'll come here.
Yeah.
And Lane will go.
Hey, look, I believe Lane Kiffin is like other gifted coaches right now in the game, that wherever they go, they've got a suitcase full of tricks, blueprints, plans, whatever it is, however you want to describe it, because Lane Kiffin would leave Oxford, he'd leave Hotty Toddy, he'd go to Gainesville, he'd get that NIL collective money, he'd get the booster passion and budget, he'd get more pressure, but he also would have more resources.
See, the problem is you talk about pressure at Florida. You know why it's pressure? Because your coaches aren't any good. That's why.
Because they haven't won it.
I mean, look who you've hired.
Yeah.
I mean, you hired an assistant coach, then a guy who was an assistant coach who went to Group of 5 school, then a guy who you knew who would have taken the job for anything, and then another Group of 5 coach. You're Florida. Go hire somebody.
Right. Yeah.
Go say, okay, this is what we're doing. We're going to hire someone right now. LSU wanted a coach. They went to Notre Dame, got Brian Kelly. USC wanted a coach because they were desperate. They went to Oklahoma, got Lincoln Riley. Go hire someone, period.
Yeah. I mean, hey, listen, I don't want Lane in Florida.
Miami needed a coach. What'd they do? Went right to Oregon. Got Mario.
Got Mario, absolutely. Yeah, listen, we're territorial, okay? If y'all sign Lane Kiffin, West Palm on down, that's us.
Oh, right? Believe me. Listen,
I'm just letting you know.
Those days are over. If Kiffin
I'm just saying, you stay in your plot of land, we stay in ours.
We're getting rid of Bob's barricades. We're going right down there into the 305.
But the thing is do they have stones to do that? And I'm not sure I'm not sure they do right now.
Yeah. Well,
because they could have had him 3 years ago and they didn't do it.
Exactly. The guy that's making the decision may not be the guy making the next decision. Shane Matthews said something interesting on his podcast yesterday, and he jumps on, of course, weekly with the Frangie Show as the voice or the color analyst for the Gators Radio Network, and he basically said that the boosters will have a hand in making a decision on where the University of Florida will go. Not like they're going to be the end all, they're going to be the one who's going to make the ultimate decision, but basically says that they will help. And there's nothing wrong with the people who are stroking checks. You can go back to when Miami had enough with the coaches that they had hired, the Al Goldens, promoting Randy Shannon, all the decisions that they made.
Same thing.
Did not work out.
Yes, same thing.
And there were enough noise. There was enough noise in the funnel that basically said, we're too good. We are not going to go down this road.
Yeah,
again.
Alumni, sponsors, former players.
Yeah.
I mean, Al Golden, I remember I was there. I was at the stadium when Miami played Clemson with Deshaun Watson, and they put a 50 bird on us. And we hit the social media like we had never hit before. And before you know it, before he got off that bus to go back to the campus, he was gone. He was fired. We weren't having that.
And so basically what happens is if they do, the University of Florida makes the right hire, then the position, the importance, the profile of the university is elevated again.
Of course. I mean, people were saying the same thing about Alabama before Saban got there. The exact same thing.
And by the way, they went through their struggles with the Spaghetti Western, hiring Franchione.
And by the way, saying the same thing about Georgia. Now look at Georgia.
Yeah, the lounge lizard and Mike Price and all of them. So yeah, it was not easy for them to finally get the guy.
Texas, same thing.
Yeah.
Go get a guy.
And by the way,
don't just get just some schlub. Go get a real legit coach.
Right. They thought they were getting their guy with the numerous guys that they hired after Mac Brown, because Mac had produced a national championship, but then they just struggled and struggled and struggled. And it's not easy. Kirby Smart, when University of Georgia finally got their guy, Mark Richt had a 750 win percentage, was kicking butt against all the ones that he was supposed to kick butt against. He just didn't beat the ones that they wanted him to beat. And so it's not an easy decision or hire.
But it's just. But if you're Florida, you just don't hire those guys. And I love Will Muschamp. He's one of my friends. Yeah. I think he would have been a good coach elsewhere to start. But he wasn't ready for that job. No. Jim McElwain, the coach of Florida, that was a laughable hire. Okay, then Dan Mullen's there. Dan Mullen was essentially it's musical chairs, and he's the last guy that's available at that point.
Yeah.
So he gets hired because Scott knows him. Right. And I like Scott too. Scott's a good dude. I think Scott's done a lot of good there.
Yeah.
But he hired Dan because Dan was the last guy.
Okay, but remind yourself, though, that they did take big swings and didn't get their guy.
Well, and that's, There's
money
a lot,
talks.
Yes,
money
there's a lot,
talks and
yes,
BS
there's a lot
walks.
more to that than you think. It's not simply just taking big.
Yeah.
You got to if you're going to take a big swing, you got to take a big swing with money.
Oh
okay?
yeah. And by the way, University of Florida, because you guys know it took me forever to get my diploma. I finally got it, but there's a mindset, or was a mindset down there, that they didn't think they needed to spend on facilities,
on everything,
on coaches,
on everything.
on a lot of things.
Yes, and I think Dan Mullen's a good coach. I do. I think he'll be a very good coach. In fact, he could slide right into the West Virginia when they start to continue to tumble. That'd be a nice spot for Dan.
Yeah.
But I think he's a good coach. He's not the coach that, if you're Florida, that's not the guy you go after. You go after a coach, a ball coach.
Well, Lincoln Riley, as you have said before, they did not entertain the idea of
He
going
was
after
interested.
him. If they took, and go back, if we go back, the buyout that Mike Norvell had up in Tallahassee versus the buyout that Billy Napier was able to get from the University of Florida and Scott Strickland, it's nuts, the difference. Nuts. And both guys came from Group of Five.
Yeah.
Think about that.
Again, and to be fair to Scott Strickland in Florida, is everybody thought Billy Napier was going to be a good coach. I thought Billy would be a pretty good coach. But he's not even close to what anyone thought he could have been. Even in your worst case scenario, I wouldn't have thought that by game 2 of year 3, you were like, he's got to go, man.
Yeah.
But I mean, I was saying that last year. At the end of year 2, I was like, it's time to go.
I think we all shared in that one, but he went from big fish, small pond to not capable of doing anything more than tread water.
Imaginable piece of support that Florida could give him. Everything.
Yeah. Hire as
He's
many coaches
still
as
not
you want.
winning.
Yeah.
So that to me, that's the most damning thing.
You know
he has everything and not winning.
You know how much easier it is to win on the Power 5 level than it is the division, the top.
Right.
The
FCS,
yeah.
And the Group of 5, yeah.
Because there are so many more guys that can play at that level than there is. You know, when you talk about the SEC now, you're talking about the difference between high school and college and the NFL.
Right.
You're getting the best players, right?
Right.
Well, you can't win in that league unless you have the best players. That's it. And it's so much easier to look like you're the next guy at a non-Power 5 than it is what you're talking about. A guy that wins at Mississippi, he's doing a hell of a job. Now, Mississippi has as good a high school players per capita.
Yeah, just not enough of them.
But there's got, you
get 2 or 3
coming
a year
in there
from
for,
there.
Florida. If you get the best players, if you're the best coach, you're going to win in Florida. I can tell you.
That's another thing too with him. Real quick, Joe, is he was hired. He's the guy that's going to recruit. He's this great recruiter. Hasn't happened.
No, because of what? What have I been saying? The product. And if you don't have the product, they ain't coming. It's as simple as that. And now you got to have the product and some cash. All right, it's XL Primetime. Back to the Jags with our head coach, Dave Campbell, before he is out of here. We will definitely stay on the college front. Got plenty of reaction on that off the text line, designed by Lifetime Enclosures. So you guys jump in, YouTube chat, wherever you want to go. Just let us know what you're thinking about it, and we will circle back.
Buckle up. You're in the First Coast Honda Dealer Studios with XL Primetime on 1010XL. Find your new Honda at your 8 local Honda dealers.
Here's Linda Beaver.
Hey everyone, it's football season and we wanted to go to the drawing board to make this year's predictions. Let's compare our 2 blonde all-stars. Most touchdowns, best pricing in the market. Most passing yards, gives the most for your trade. Most receptions, free oil changes with every purchase. Super Bowl champion, wow customer service. This looks like a winning season for everyone. Come see Beaver Toyota in St. Augustine or Beaver Chevrolet in Jacksonville, where you can score big all season long.
Jumbo Shrimp Baseball, presented by FIS, is home this week at 1-to-1 Financial Ballpark for the final games of the season. Tonight's game is at 7:05. Tomorrow is Buy Star Good as Ever Wednesday, plus bring your dog courtesy of Forever Vets. The weekend starts with Coors Light Thirsty Thursday and Military Appreciation courtesy of Swisher. Baseball all weekend. Tickets start at just $5. Jumbo Shrimp Baseball, affordable family fun.
Salvatore's famous pizza now in Jacksonville, Tapestry Park off Southside Boulevard. In honor of our favorite player, number 16, Salvatore's large pizza with lots of mozzarella and one topping, only $16. Coupon at salvatores.com. Dine in, pick up, and delivery. $16 for a large Salvatore's pizza with lots of mozzarella and one topping. Coupon at salvatores.com. Tax and delivery extra.
1 second left. Packers are down by 6 at the goal line. Your defense is the only thing stopping them from scoring. Is your team prepared? Double-check Cybersecurity has your back. With an AI-powered defense, start your 14-day trial at doublecheck.com.
I'm Chris Campione. In a world of big box law firms with satellite offices, there's something special about having a local legal team that cares about you and your community. We're not just lawyers, we're your neighbors. We understand the unique challenges facing the Jacksonville community because we live here too. At Campione Law, Campione Cares isn't just a tagline, it's our commitment to you. Campione Law, your trusted lawyers after an accident. CampioneLaw.com.
Count on Campione, Campione Law.
This is Tony Baselli, Pro Football Hall of Famer. I was known for protecting our quarterback. These days, I'm extending that protection to a different arena, your home. I have partnered with Heritage Roofing of North Florida, your premier local roofers with over 25 years of experience. Heritage is your go-to roofer for hurricane preparation, with same-day inspections and estimates. They also work with all insurance companies. Let Heritage Roofing of North Florida safeguard your home and family. Visit heritagenfl.com for your free estimate today.
State license CCC 1335410.
Hidden Hills Golf Club invites you to bring your friends out and enjoy our spectacular golf course, which is carved out of some of the highest elevations in North Florida. Hidden Hills Golf Club, unlike any other. Check us out, hiddenhillsgc.com.
Hi, Jags fans. Walker Little here for my friends at Kingfish Pest Control. Playing offensive line in the NFL, I must block and protect on every down. When it comes to keeping my home pest-free, I expect that same level of protection. So I contacted Kingfish after seeing thousands of positive online customer reviews about their service. I can confirm from personal experience, bugs don't stand a chance getting past Kingfish Pest Control. Do what I did. Reach out to Kingfish Pest Control to protect your home, a proud partner of your Jacksonville Jaguars.
Hey, it's Matt Hayes. I've been playing Prize Picks lately, and you know what? I have no idea why I waited so long. Prize Picks is America's #1 daily fantasy sports app with more than 5 million active members. And beyond that, it's a blast to play. It's easy, it's exciting, and it makes those college and NFL games so much more exciting to watch. All you do is pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections and watch your winnings roll in. This week, I've got Caleb Williams throwing for less than 215.5 yards and Alvin Kamara rushing for more than 64.5. It's just that easy. Prize Picks puts their members first, so all withdrawals are fast, safe, and secure. When my picks hit, I can get money as quickly, as 15 minutes. Now, here's the best part. Prize Picks is the only real money daily fantasy platform with an injury insurance policy. That means your lineups stay in play even if one of your players gets injured. If your player leaves in the first half and doesn't return, your picks are still alive. Prize Picks. Download the app today and use code JAX and get $50 instantly when you play 5.
Sports History is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On September 17, 2004, MLB legend San Francisco Giants outfielder Barry Bonds hits his 700th career MLB home run, joining Babe Ruth and Hank Aaron to reach this milestone.
If you're ready to transform your yard with a fence that stands out, elevate your curb appeal with Superior Fence and Rail. Superior takes pride in offering first-class service, friendly installers, and unmatched fence products. Mention this ad and get $250 off your next project. It's time to get off the fence and call today.
When you're on the fence, about a fence, SuperiorFenceandRail.com.
Bold City AC, keeping you cool. Feeling the heat, Jacksonville? Cool down with Bold City Heating and Air. From repairs to energy-efficient installs, we do it all. Your system worked hard all summer long to keep you cool. Give it a spa day. Schedule a system tune-up. Call Bold City Heating and Air today and experience the bold difference.
Bold City AC, keeping you cool. Bold City AC.
Visit boldcityac.com.
These are interesting economic times. That's why it's so important to have someone you can count on. That's ITP Partners. Jacksonville folks taking care of our Jacksonville money. Experience? You best believe you want to give your hard-earned money to folks you trust. From Jeff Hartman to Chris Bryan, Dan Abel to Reed Wingate, Scott Regner, Janice Cobb, and Reagan Wright have the expertise and knowledge to help clients in their financial lives, focusing on 3 main areas: investment management, financial planning, and risk management. ITP Partners, our financial partners for life.
This is Dr. Kevin Kaplan, head team physician for your Jacksonville Jaguars. Here's the latest update on the Jags, brought to you by Baptist Health and JOI.
Jeff Loggeman with his assessment of the Jaguars' offensive line.
Mitch Morse right now is probably playing as your best offensive lineman. Right tackle, Anton Harrison did not play well at all in week 1. Played a little bit better this past game, but he's capable of so much more.
Where's that second-year jump from him?
Haven't seen it yet. Brandon Sheriff not playing well. He needs to play better. Cam's playing just okay, but, I mean, he's still got that habit of dropping his leg a little bit and pass set sometimes. And Ezra Cleveland, I thought, been playing pretty good. Can he be better a moment? Sure. But I mean, as a whole, that group needs to be better.
Jeff Loggeman on Jaguars Today. I'm Andrew Gibson with your Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute Jaguars Update.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Here's a bold fact. Brought to you by Bold City Brewery, Duval's first craft brewery. Online at boldcitybrewery.com.
You can definitely check them out, especially Roselle, which is over in Riverside. That's the production house, and they are cranking out great craft, and they've got the kitchen open, always great deals. You'll love to take advantage of them. Wednesdays, they're opening up at 3 o'clock this afternoon. You got plenty of killer options when it comes to Killer Whale, Bold City IPA, Duval Light, Dukes, whatever it might be. The Roasted Red Ale, 1901. I probably don't mention that one enough, and it definitely is outstanding. So make sure you check out Bold City Brewery, Riverside, and then Bold City downtown. So I'm going to start off this bold fact by telling you, or quoting the line, so you're telling me there's a chance. Yes. Over the past 3 seasons, since they've gone to a 17-game schedule, 21 teams have opened the season 0-2. Only 2 have made the playoffs. Who are they? Past 3 seasons, since they went to 17 games.
Past 3 seasons?
Yeah.
Bengals are one, I bet.
21 teams have opened the season 0-2. Only 2 have made the playoffs.
Bengals and the Bucks, I'm saying.
Yeah, I'm going to go with, I believe it's the Bengals. I don't know about the Bucks. 0-2?
Bucks might have been 0-2 last year.
Okay.
Coach?
I got no idea.
I'm gonna go with Bengals and Rams.
Okay. All right, let's just go ahead and ring the boys up with a half of a yes, sir. We can't go the whole way with it, RJ, because this has been the popular one. Right there. All right, Cincinnati. Yes. Cincinnati, 0-2. They made the playoffs. The only other team that has done it in the 3 seasons that they went to a 17-game schedule, this is one that really hurts that we should remember more than anything else. Those damn hated Houston Texans.
Oh, the Texans.
Wow.
Yeah, 0-2. Because they came in here last year 0-2 and started that pursuit and made it to the postseason. So
more salt to the wound.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So you are telling me there's a chance because that team did it last year and now they're 2-0.
What's that batting average? 2 for 21?
Yeah, that's that's
under 1. It's like 0.
That's below the Mendoza line.
0.93 or something like that.
But they did it. They clawed their way back. Obviously, we know what happened. Rookie of the year, quarterback, offensive rookie of the year. Just a lot of things turned in the right direction. So, Coach, when we were talking about this earlier, it can happen. Okay, the next 15 games anything can happen.
Well, that's parity in the league. I mean, you look at what happened this past weekend. I think 8 favorites lost.
Yeah,
and a bunch of home teams lost. So it's a different era now.
I hate Philly right now.
I would think that we would have an opportunity to take care of business, but things have to, they have to get things fixed quick.
You say parity in the league. I say parody, P-A-R.
ODY on that offensive line, okay?
Yeah.
That's what I say.
Yeah.
That's the problem. This team is not a playoff.
Well, the odds
team,
are
okay?
in our favor. I mean, we got 15 more tries. I mean, lost 2.
Right. Very much so. And by the way,
first off,
just as much as you might be right on the offensive line, don't put it all on the offensive line.
Oh, I'm putting all of it on the offensive line. Don't kid yourself.
Yeah.
They played well enough defensively to win both those games.
Well, they did hold 2 teams to less than 21 points. That's a positive. But they also let Deshaun Watson all of a sudden get new life breathed back.
But still,
what happened?
They played well enough to win that game defensively. They did. And there's no other way to look at it. Both those games. And I was shocked after week 1 when Doug Peterson kind of called out the defense. We got to, we got to play it and we got to coach it better. And I'm like, wow, all right.
Yeah, well, scoring defense is the most important thing for the defense.
Yeah.
I mean, you can say whatever you want about bend but don't break and all that stuff. The offense should be able, if they're going to be a quality football team, should score more than 20 points. I can tell you that right now.
It's the truth.
So but here's my thing. Whether things are correctable or not, when I see inconsistency, that can, in my opinion, can be corrected. In other words, you can force guys, like we talk about, to be more ready to go. What they're doing in the off, when they go home, all those things you can make them aware, and hopefully you can get it fixed. Guys don't believe this because Matt said it.
Yeah.
All right. They squandered 14 points in that game.
Oh, here
they
we
missed
go.
a field goal.
Don't let him tell us.
They had a legal procedure on a touchdown pass, and
L.
Yeah, you're right. I mean,
but no, plays do obviously. Like last night, this is why I'm kind of, I got a little eagle hate in me today because I was just foolish enough to lay 5.5 points, and this much I know. Saquon Barkley, catch the football, you got it. You got a victory. Or go ahead and run it into the middle and burn 40 seconds of clock, and you might have a victory. Those two.
But to be fair, Dave, like NFL players make plays. It wasn't like ETN just gave the ball up. It got knocked out. A play was made.
Mm-hmm. I agree with you, Matt. I'm not disputing that. But what I'm saying is the difference between a team that goes
7 and 10 and
13, whatever, and 7 and whatever is so small.
I agree, totally.
It's so small.
Yep.
So it comes down to 4 or 5 plays in a game that makes the difference.
Agreed.
Now, if you're a good football team, you make those plays. So if we're not making them, we're not a good football team.
Mm-hmm.
When you get squandered 14 points, when you get a roughing the passer penalty, that you lose 4 points because they score a touchdown instead of a field goal on 3rd and 14. That's ridiculous.
Extremely questionable call, but they
both those roughing calls were questionable.
And when you are not lined up in the right spot and then get a penalty for illegal procedure on a touchdown pass that gives you 7 points, enough to win the football game.
Yeah, I agree.
It comes down to those plays.
And,
so you don't do that every week unless you're a lousy football team. Now, we're going to find out if we're a lousy football team.
Right.
Because we're going to have an opportunity to make 4 or 5 more plays in every ball game because the difference between the two teams are not that great.
And Cam Little from point blank range.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
42 yards. 98% of those kicks are made in the NFL every week.
Yeah. And so we can't do this anymore on our show. We can't say, hey, short, little name, long leg. Can't say it right now. Need to make field goal.
You've been waiting to use that line, haven't you?
And he did hit the post.
Need to make field goal.
He did hit the post.
Yeah, exactly. Are you kidding me?
The problem with what? So here's with what Dave is saying. The problem is when you don't make those 4 or 5 plays, everything else you do poorly is magnified.
Yeah. Absolutely.
That's the problem.
That's all I'm saying. And all I'm saying is we got some problems with this football team. Absolutely. Some of them can be corrected.
Might have some coaching problems too, Dave.
Yeah, well, and that's possible as well. I mean, and
might have a GM problem too, Dave.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. And decisions on who you have on the ball club. But listen, what'd you say just a second ago, Leon? We got 15 more games.
You got 15 more games, Coach. That's the way you got to look at it.
And by the way,
the odds are in your favor.
Club Nate was created on your way to an AFC championship.
I do love that there's still positive Pollard here. I still love that. All right, that's good.
Yeah.
It's
not much, but
it can happen. Obviously, these are two games that this team will look back and wish that they would have won.
Mm-hmm.
You've mentioned it over and over. Those are the games that get you late. But at the same time, Trevor Lawrence needs to be challenged right now. Are we going to pack it up? Because that's 16 long weeks to have to deal with if you're packing it up. And I kind of doubt he is.
Or he needs to challenge the offensive line right now.
And
he needs to challenge the whole team.
And himself.
Okay. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
No.
I don't know that I'm blaming anything on him, man. I'm not saying killed.
I'm not saying it's his fault. I'm just saying he's not exempt from criticism. Was there not a wide open Brian Thomas Jr. at the goal line when he tried to force it into Brenton Strange?
Yep. There
was there not a wide open Gabe Davis when he sailed it over his head? When they went 2 consecutive 3-and-outs to begin the game?
Yep.
Did he have 16 passing yards in the first half?
He missed the screen pass to Etienne against the Dolphins too. Yeah. Look, there's no doubt.
Yeah.
Quarterbacks miss throws.
Right.
But if you're that quarterback and you're dealing with what he's dealing with on a play-by-play basis, it's not like they'll block well for 3 or 4 plays and then they're a sieve. It's sieve.
Let's just remind everybody, this is recency bias, okay? Last week, they looked the part offensively. They were up 14
for 2.5 quarters. They did,
Yeah, how quickly we forget.
Not even, 2.5 maybe.
Yeah.
2 quarters in a drive.
Yeah, but I mean, how quickly we forget?
But the Dolphins also had some injuries on their D-line. Remember that. Just remember that.
Right. It doesn't matter because they were up. They had
and then the one guy coming back from the Achilles injury just blew right by Cam.
Yeah. 30 minutes of good football, 30 minutes of bad football in both of these games, honestly. Because in the second half of this game, they caught a little fire. But in the first half, they had nothing. And I
don't know if I would call 30 minutes of good football in this
I'm just saying they held Cleveland to 1 score in the second half of this game.
Plus, it's your home opener. Like, where's the energy, man? Where's the, get up and go in the first half of that game?
Have I said that they...
No, I'm just throwing it out. Where is that? How? If you can't get up for your home opener, God.
Well, I mean, this team has a tendency, even last year, it has a tendency that when they go up against a big physical defense, they don't match up well with them.
They will.
They retreat. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like they wither.
Yeah.
That's why when I saw that Dolphins defense, I was like, okay, that's a fair matchup, But when I saw the Cleveland's defense and how they get after it pretty good, I said they're gonna have to put on their big boy pants against these guys because they play physical. And just like I thought, when the physical defensive front goes against this offensive line, they wilt.
Don't trust
instead of answering the bell, they stay in the corner. They don't answer the bell. I'm telling you.
You got a few games, or you just still got just extra point. You got a few games left.
If I get down to my stance now, you're gonna have to help me up. I'm just letting you know.
All right. On that note, we got to say goodbye to Coach. Coach, we will see you on Friday.
Yes, sir.
And we will go through everything. I will tell you real quick. I'm pretty sure, still maintain the upper hand when it comes to our picks.
I don't think so. I think I took a big-time dive.
Well, I might have gotten a little closer.
I'll just tell you this much. To put everybody on notice right now. And we'll have the picks coming up a little bit later on in the week. Coach went 2-4.
Yeah.
Leon 3-3.
Consistent.
I went 3-3, 500. Maddie, not so much. Well, 1-5 again. No. Yes. I don't know, but it's right there. It's right there. All right, so we will get our picks going once we get to the end of the week. But you start adding them up. Coach, you're still 11
at 7. Deep hole, man. Wow. I'm in a Jags hole right now. Seriously. I don't know if I can get out of it.
All right. So we'll have those later on. Enjoy the rest of the afternoon.
Yeah,
we have our Campo and Joe podcast. Be looking for that on any of the social platforms with 1010XL as we head into the 3 o'clock hour. We got to get back to the Billy discussion and XLP's CFP Top 12.
Cruising with XL Primetime in the First Coast Honda Dealer Studios on 1010XL. In every game, there's a limited number of drives.
All best, here we go.
And there's only one drive of the game.
That's a good old-fashioned rear end whipping.
Listen for the Randy Marion Cadillac of Jacksonville drive of the game on 1010XL. Now you can watch 1010XL shows all day on X, Facebook, and YouTube. Brought to you by MyBookie. Experience Vegas from the comfort of your phone anytime, anywhere. Sign up today. Use promo code 1010XL.
September is Prostate Cancer Awareness Month, so here's a reminder to get screened. Ackerman Urology has 4 convenient locations to help you put your prostate health first. Guys, don't put this one off. Visit AckermanUrology.com.
Pick it here for About 9 Associates, where you'll find Jacksonville's most esteemed eye doctors at each of their locations. After being selected for one of the most competitive ophthalmology fellowships in the world, Dr. Frank Bowden is frequently called upon for his expert opinion. He is currently one of the few cornea and external disease specialists in the area and the founder of About 9. Visit About 9 Associates today and experience the difference. About 9 Associates, keeping the First Coast focused.
Hey, football fans, looking for the ultimate game day experience? Best Bet St. Augustine has you covered. We're talking big plays on the big screens, food specials that'll make your taste buds cheer, and drink deals that'll keep your spirits high. And get this, we're open till 4 a.m., serving food and drinks until 2. Make the smart play. Head to Best Bet St. Augustine and ante up for your team. Find us at bestbetjacks.com. That's bestbetjacks.com. Best Bet St. Augustine, where every game day is a win.
Sports teams have a closer. 1010XL has the cleaner.
Clean up on aisle 10.
Hayes Carline cleans up sports messes. Afternoons on the Frangie Show. Cleaning Up with Hayes is brought to you by Molly Maid on 1010XL.
Hey, there's a lab-grown diamond and jewelry sales event going on right now at Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach. Monahan's is known for its natural diamonds and gemstones, but we've had so much demand for lab-grown diamonds that now through the end of September, Monahan Jewelers is having a lab-grown diamond and jewelry sales event. We've brought in a huge selection of lab-grown diamonds and jewelry to meet this incredible demand. Lab-grown diamond sales event now through the end of September at Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach.
Universal Roof and Contracting presents the Offensive Player of the Game. Universal Roof and Contracting. The difference is universal.
Britton Strange was fantastic for Jacksonville on Sunday. The 6'3" tight end was targeted 6 times against Cleveland and tallied 3 receptions for 65 yards. His exceptional play on the field may land him more opportunities throughout the year, and it seems he'll be ready each time his number is called. Britton Strange is your Universal Roof and Contracting Offensive Player of the Game.
Universal Roof and Contracting has been protecting Florida homes from the elements for over 30 years. Call Universal Roof and Contracting today for a free roof inspection and get 15% off your roof repair or replacement. Plus, flexible financing options and payments as low as $115 a month. This offer expires September 30th. Call 855-ROOF-HELP.
License number CCC 1330747, CBC 1258484.
UniversalRoof.com.
This is Mark Nato. My son Justin injured his hand playing baseball for JU. Southeast Orthopedic Specialist performed surgery just a few days later, and within 5 weeks, he was cleared to play in the ASUN baseball tournament. Our family has trusted Southeast Orthopedic Specialists for years. For any orthopedic injury, let Southeast Orthopedic Specialists take care of you too.
Relieve pain and get back to life. SOS. Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Duck Rooter Plumbing and Septic Services is a proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Need help fixing a plumbing issue? Let our winning team go to work for you. 904-862-6769 or online at duckduckrooter.com.
WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
When you're behind the wheel of your car, you expect a safe journey. But what if the other driver's careless and you're injured? The responsibilities and demands on your spouse just doubled. You suddenly can't work. So what happens to your family's income? And by now, the emergency room and medical bills may be sitting on your kitchen counter. You've got some problems, and we want to hear about them. Call us at 396-5555. Farah and Farah, protecting you and your family since 1979. Office, Jacksonville.
Hey, it's Matt Hayes Summers here, so let's talk about something sizzling, making a Bacon 180 with a Waken 180.
Imagine dropping pounds while still enjoying that crisp, savory goodness. Well, it's on the menu at Awaken 180, and one of the many reasons I lost 40 pounds in 9 weeks on Awaken 180 weight loss. I did it all while still enjoying so many of my favorite foods. The difference is my coach showed me how to enjoy those foods the right way. Chicken, steak, pork, lobster, they're all on the menu. Awaken 180 caters to any diet or taste profile, vegetarian, vegan, omnivore, even flexitarian. I'm not kidding. That's a thing. They're all covered. The bottom line, if you want to lose weight fast and safe and keep it off with lifetime coaching, then make your own Bacon 180 with Awaken 180. Do what I did, Mike Dempsey and Hacker, and more than 21,000 others online at awaken180weightloss.com. That's awaken180weightloss.com.
Homeowners, good news for you. Accent on 4. Listen up. Loan Pronto now has mortgage rates that start with a 4. Prosser here. It's true. Mortgage rates have plummeted. So low, we haven't seen them in a long time. If your current rate is over 6%, you can dump it and lower your house payment big time. Loan Pronto just locked in a homeowner at 4.99% APR. So whether you got your loan last week, last month, or last year, it's time to call Loan Pronto. Even if you're in process with another lender, stop now. Call Loan Pronto. Ask about their zero-cost rate reduction home loan. You can lock in a lower rate with no closing costs in a matter of days, with almost no paperwork and usually no appraisal. And if you act now, you can even skip your next 2 house payments. Call now. Loan Pronto can give you a rate quote in minutes with no hard credit pull and no upfront fees like those other guys. Call 904-999-1508 or loanpronto.com. Call 904-999-1508. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781. Owner approved credit, NMLS consumeraccess.org.
This is Molly McDonald with your 1010XL Southeast Orthopedic Specialist Local Sports Update, brought to you by Baker Glass. After trailing going into halftime, the Bulldogs offense lit up the field in the second half to defeat the Bishop Kenny Crusaders Friday night. Leading Bulls was Emmett Gresbin, rushing for 213 yards and 2 touchdowns, along with Naeem Burrows, who picked up 135 receiving yards and 3 touchdowns. Head coach of Bulls spoke postgame on 1010XL's Friday Night Lights following the win.
Go to halftime, all the momentum is against you. You know, you're down to your rival who you thought that you were going to beat. Our kids getting smacked in the mouth was a wake-up call. And that being able to calm down and just go out and execute our assignments, and our kids calm down, play the assignment football on both sides of the ball, and we're slowly be able to impose our will.
Bulls is now 2-1 to start the season and will host Oakleaf this Friday at 7:30. It's 85 degrees at 3 o'clock. Time and temp brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. This is XL Primetime, brought to you by Florida Home AC. Now that's cool on 1010XL.
It is XL Primetime into the 3 o'clock hour. We say thanks to Beaver Chevy, Beaver Toyota. They bring you XL Primetime on Tuesdays, and they're there Monday through Saturday. They like to give their people Sunday off so they can enjoy a little rest and relaxation, but they can certainly take care of you. Beaver Toyota, StAugustine.com. You'll find them in the AUG right there on US 1 and BeaverChevrolet.com. with their dealership right there on Phillips Highway. So definitely check both of them out. They're there to wow you, and they will take care of you. So we talked a lot of Jaguar ball. We snuck in a little Billy Napier talk, or let me amend that, a little Billy Napier talk in the 2 o'clock hour. Let's get back to trouble in Gainesville. Let's get back to what some fans were reacting to as to whether or not you could attract a big-name coach. And then let's also work a little Florida State in here, because these two teams right now, the only win they've got combined was against Samford. One team's 0-3, and the other one's 1-2. So they might as well be 0-6. You know what I'm saying? And so let's get to both of them. But I want to just bring up this text real quick if I can pull it up. Because, Matt, we're talking about whether or not this football team at the University of Florida can attract a big-name target. And Lane Kiffin's been one of the ones that's been most mentioned. The texter, Florida isn't Alabama, Michigan, Texas, or Ohio State. They're a 500 program that had to run off of 2 great coaches and then return to being a 500 program. Agree or disagree? Because I don't agree with that. It can be a program that can return to relevance, even greatness, playing for championships with the right hire.
Definitely, number one. Number two, I mean, it was a pretty good run, an 18-year run with those two coaches.
Yeah.
So that's
if
pretty
you figure
good.
12 years with Orr and then 6 years
with Herb.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, you've got patches of, I mean, Muschamp won 11 games. Dan Mullen went to 3 straight Year 6 bowl games.
Mm-hmm.
So it's the point I'm making is it can be done there. There's every advantage at Florida, everything. And believe me, everyone in the SEC realizes that once they get their act together and hire a real coach, there's going to be a problem.
Mm-hmm.
They all know that. That's the way it's always been at Florida, every single time. Before Spurrier got there, that was the old joke that Florida was the sleeping giant.
Yeah, 0 for 57.
And they couldn't hire a coach. They didn't get the right coach ever. So they're in a rut right now where they've made some bad hires as a football coach. It's simple as that. So, yeah, the idea is, can you get that coach? Can you get a Lane Kiffin? And if Lane Kiffin does come, and I truly believe that Lane Kiffin will, if he doesn't, then what do? Do you go offer a bag at Josh Heupel? Yeah, I would. I absolutely would. Do you offer a bag at Dan Lanning? Yes, I absolutely would.
Okay, jump in, Leon, because I think even wishing for a Josh Heupel that's pie in the sky. Because I do think where he's at, he has resources. He now has created his product, and
doesn't have that recruiting base, man.
Okay, but here's how I look at recruiting in today's world: it's nationwide.
Not like you think.
Nationwide, the budget's there,
and Leon can test this. Players in this state want to play for teams in this state, but they want to play for the right coach.
True. That was Mario's selling point when he came to Miami. The first thing he did when he set foot in Miami, he went to all those high schools, all those big-time high schools down in South Florida, who grew up, who their parents or their uncles were big Miami Hurricanes fans. He said, do you want to be a part of the process of turning this thing around? And he went right knocking on the doors. And a lot of the kids at Miami, have family that loved Miami, and they want to see me, and those kids want to stay in Miami to help turn that program around.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to have to be the selling point, because it was bad Miami for a very, very, very long time. So Mario was able to get those kids that wanted to be Hurricanes and transfer portal and all this other kind of stuff, but he's got the right kids and the right frame around, and that's the reason why Miami's playing the way they play. Now, it took 2 hard years. Mario's in his 3rd year, but it's good to see that transition right now to where these kids are playing tough, they're playing physical, they're playing with a lot of energy, and that's the way you want it.
And they want to play for them.
And they want to play for them,
Which is
absolutely.
everything.
Yeah, well, I do think that it definitely is possible,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm not going to call it Pollyanna, but I do feel like we have seen so much player movement that the whole idea of growing up as a fan or a family rooting and rooted in one school, and that's where you're going to go, son, because that's the team we root for. I just think those days are over, unfortunately. Just take a look at player movement. Take a look at the portal. Take a look at the number of teams one player is playing for over the course of 5 years. He can play for 3 different teams. It's insane, the player movement that's out there right now. And so that's why I think if you have the program, then you can get the star from almost any state if you have the product.
I don't know about that. Maybe if you're
Pretty
Georgia
close.
or Alabama, but I think I understand what you're saying, but I think there's also a combination of Florida hasn't really been that good.
Mm-hmm.
Florida State won 19 in a row, but prior to that, what were they? Miami hasn't been that good. I think it's a lot of other teams outside the state taking advantage of football being down in the state. Here's a great example, okay, of what Mario's done. So the recruiting class, the one they just signed, okay, he's got the top, let's see, Miami, Florida, Hollywood, Florida, Tampa, Florida, Fort Lauderdale, Florida, Bluntstown, Lauderdale.
Those are
Largo.
all positives.
These are all like he's literally taking that South Florida area and locking it down.
Right.
And these are all 4- and 5-star guys.
LSU can do it in Louisiana. Georgia can do it in Georgia. There's certain ones that can. Southern Cal might be able to do it a little bit, but I just feel like there's so many of them. Where did Cam Ward come from? Not from South Florida. They needed that guy to get them over the hump. And those types of guys. Yeah, but Dylan Gabriel going to Oregon after playing at 2 other schools gives Oregon a chance.
You can supplement with those guys in the portal.
Maybe, yeah.
But you got to build with the high schools. I mean, Alabama wanted Ruben Bain badly, like was one of their top 3 targets. and Mario kept him home,
which was a huge positive.
A huge get, right?
Because for the longest time,
those
Nick,
guys were going to Alabama.
Nick,
Jerry Judy, and Amari Cooper. Those guys left
and
South
Ryan
Florida,
Day
went to
was
Miami.
coming in.
Well, and then heard his uncle played in Miami too.
Right.
Yeah.
That didn't hurt a little bit.
But still.
Yeah. But he could have still been influenced.
Even if
Tolbert would have said, "Hey, listen, if I think
do what you got to do.
Do what you got to do." Yeah,
Right.
he absolutely would have gave him. He would have gave him his grace. Hey, do what you got to do if you think Alabama's the best fit for you. But that kid right there, that Reuben Bain, that played at one of the, what did he play at, Northwestern?
I think Columbus, Northwestern, one of the two.
Yeah, he played at Northwestern. Which, I mean, you're talking about a kid who averaged 20 sacks a season in high school.
He had like 80 sacks in high school.
Yeah, crazy. Something crazy like that.
That is nuts.
Well, you can see when he plays. He's a dog, man.
Right. And so Mario, because Mario can tell the story. There aren't as many of those. Kirby can tell the story. They're just, they are few and far between. And so that's why I just think it's tougher. As far as I can tell, the landscape has changed so dramatically that while it's still a good story, there aren't enough Leon Searcy's growing up going, I'm going to go play for the U. They're going to go play where there's the best NIL opportunity and the best team and the best opportunity to play right away.
Yeah, because when I played, there was only a select few teams that were on TV. So a lot of players in my era went to schools that knew you were going to be on TV, but these kids now, they're everywhere. Absolutely.
But look at Miami's recruiting class right now. I mean, look at these guys. It's Miami. It's Hollywood.
That part's good.
It's like that's how you more Miami. And when you do that, when you start to lock down that area, then all of a sudden you can sneak up a little bit and you can grab like Hilton Stubbs or Mandarin because you're setting your foundation there in those three counties, which is what all the way back to Howard Schnellenberger. His whole thing was he called it the state of Miami. Those three counties.
Yeah, which is, they said, basically lock that down. We need to get to Mike Norvell and what he might be suffering from in terms of recruiting and not attracting those types of players. But real quick, these are just some of the betting odds. Florida's next coach, 4-1 is Jamie Chadwell.
Never.
I'm just telling you, that
never happened.
Yeah, that shocked me a little bit, and they will not go in that direction. I agree with you. I do not believe that'll happen. Lane Kiffin 5-1. These are some of the bets that will get some attention. Eli Drinkwitz 7-1. Brent Key 8-1.
Never happened.
Chris Kleiman 12-1. Josh Heupel 14-1. Matt Rule the same odds. Lance Leopold, who I like, 18-1. Golish down in South Florida. 25-1.
Let me tell you something. He's going to be a much bigger than you think.
I know that. I'm just saying right now. I haven't
keep that name in mind. Is all I'm telling you.
Okay, but we just got through saying don't go outside.
I know that. Yeah. I believe you. I'm telling you to get a big guy, but their track record tells different. Okay.
He has pedigree. The other one is Jeff Brom, and I am interested in that. That has some appeal. Anyway, those are the ones that are being thrown out there right now as far as bigger names that are getting some attention. That might make sense in Gainesville.
Let me tell you something. If they win, not if, I 100% would take a run Nick Saban. 100%.
Yeah, why not?
I'd say, and Jimmy Sexton again. Jimmy, do you think Nick has any idea or any inkling that he might want to come back? Because Nick talks about Florida all the time.
Yeah.
That Florida is just a coach away from being this huge monster. How much is it going to take?
Yeah, it would be very interesting to see if you could appeal to him in that way.
I don't think he'd do it, but my point is I still would do it.
Right.
If I was the Florida president, I would 100% do it.
He still has tuned out on the whole transfer portal and NIL. He has.
Plus, he's also really good on ESPN, so he's
the other one that
he's got a good job now.
Of great appeal to me is Dan Lanning. If you take him from Oregon, just like Mario was pulled away from Oregon to go to Miami, that would be interesting. Real quick, FSU. Let's just hit FSU. In an 0-3 start, this is now twice for Mike Norvell in 5 seasons that he has started 0-3. I know Seminole fans know this, maybe others don't. There have only been 3 0-3 starts since 1976 up in Tallahassee. This is a saucy. Only 3 0-3 starts. And Mike Norvell has 2 of them, and the other one was 1976 with Bobby Bowden.
His first saucy nugs.
And then after that, he did not have another one.
Yeah.
And so Mike Norvell knows that he knows how to work the portal. He's done a good job. But, Leon, getting these guys to all walk in, handshake, and meet each other, and then all of a sudden become teammates and pull together, it's not easily done. He caught a little lightning in a bottle with the guys that he was able to bring in there the first first go around.
Well, I mean, it's not easily done, especially when you really don't know the guy. I mean, that's what this new NIL culture has created, is that these transfer guys that are coming in, you know them for 6 months. They didn't come in your class. They didn't come in as a freshman or whatever. So now you got a situation where they don't understand what you helped try to build in this team, because they're on the outside looking in. So as a locker room, I'll be very interested to see how they can turn this thing around.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Because
they got three transfers on their offensive line.
Because the transfer guys aren't vested like the guys who came in and recruited by Florida State.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Right. So they don't have the same love and admiration, I don't think, because they only been there 6 months. So how did you mesh that and turn this thing around with guys who are vested, recruited, been in here 2-3 years, whatever, and then guys that just been here 6 months?
Yeah.
Are they that interested? Are they already thinking about going somewhere else? Hey, man, I didn't come here for throwing 3. So that's what you're dealing with.
Yeah.
You're also dealing with coaches who see the portal and think, we can change him. And the reality of the portal is the majority of those guys are the unwon and the unloved, and they're in there for a reason. I mean, Richie Leonard was, you kidding me? You saw him play at Florida?
Yeah, offensive lineman that went from Gainesville to Tallahassee.
He went to Tallahassee, and he's terrible in Tallahassee right now.
And DJU.
Right, that's the big one, obviously. Yeah. But if they could protect, you'd at least be able to manage DJU like Dabo. Dabo got 11 wins out of DJU. That might have been, looking back now, that might have been the greatest coaching job ever, okay? So, I mean, Jonathan Smith got, 9 wins out of DJU
Yeah, he did a good job.
So
again, Pac-12
if you can protect him, you can manage him. They can't protect him, so he's now exposed.
All right, so we'll end on this, and we'll obviously keep talking about Florida State, Florida as we get going through the season. But 9th team to start 0-3 after being ranked in the top 10 to start the season in the AP top 25. So that is certainly a saucy, and they hired him from Memphis to replace Willie Taggart, and Memphis just beat him. And so
saucy nugs.
You know that's going to get them a little bit. But we'll find out what he can do going forward. All right, let's get to our XLP, to the CFP. We brought up Florida and Florida State with that one seg because I don't think either one of them are going to be included in our XLP top 12 to the CFP. We'll find out coming up.
You're riding in the First Coast Honda Dealer Studios. XL Primetime on 1010XL. The big stories from the weekend's big games.
They're fans of football.
That's what Postgame Monday is for.
What a game. Amazing.
Brought to you by Daddy Foods, makers of quality fresh sandwiches and home of the good stuff on 1010XL.
Hey, I'm Tony from Tony D's Pizza. People ask me all day long, is it the water that makes the difference? Well, yes and no. Even water can't make a good pizza. It's the ingredients, too. The best tomatoes, the best flour, and the best cheese. Oh, and a lot of love. Tony D's New York Pizza, Bay Meadows and 295.
It's time to take it back to the 90s, Jags fans. Be at the bank Sunday, October 6th, as we debut our Prowler throwback jerseys against the Colts and induct legendary head coach Tom Coughlin into the pride of the Jaguars at halftime. Kickoff is set for 1 p.m. You're not going to want to miss this matchup. Lock in your seats now by going to jaguars.com/tickets or call 904-633-2000.
When I say Arlington Toyota Pre-Owned has big selection, I mean it's huge. Mia here, not 100, not even 500, over 600 vehicles in one location. Arlington Pre-Owned even has 125 vehicles under $18K. Plus, you get 60 days to love it or exchange it. 60 days. And Arlington's Credit for Everyone program is here to help you get financed. Shop Arlington Toyota Pre-Owned today, 10939 Atlantic Boulevard, or online at arlingtontoyota.com.
When you're a little kid on the playground, they tell you don't hit back. Well, the courtroom isn't a playground. And if you've suffered an injury or death in your family, I'm here to tell you it's okay to hit back and fight to make them pay. I'm attorney Brett Hastings, and at Hastings Injury Law, we understand all the pain and emotion that comes with being wrong. And we've dedicated our lives to making things right for people like you. So if you get hit back with Hastings Injury Law. Offices, Jacksonville.
Guys, feeling deflated in the bedroom? ED, low T, no energy? If your stuff is broken, call 904-STROKEN or 904stroken.com. No shots in the first treatment, now free. Fix your ED at 904stroken.com.
Go inside the huddle with our QB, David Garrard.
Hey, I know if you give me time, baby, we can do whatever we want.
And get into the head of an NFL signal caller. Mondays from 10 to noon on Jaguars Today. Brought to you by WaterboyJax.com on 1010XL.
Hey, Hicken here. You tired of having your carpets professionally cleaned only to have them looking dingy again? Zero Res can help. I'll tell you what, they have the technology. Zero Res uses its patented ZR water that cleans beautifully without using any soaps, detergents, or shampoos. That means zero residue left behind. And guess what? Zero Res falling back in time for September. 3 rooms of carpet clean for only $129, and we'll clean a 4th room for free. That's right. The 4th room is on me. Zero Res, man. Spell it forward. Zero Res, spell it backwards. It's a right way to clean.
Prosser here. I've been telling you for years about Lifetime Enclosures and Lifetime Flooring. Football season finally upon us. Imagine watching your favorite team in your new Lifetime man cave, family hangout, or Lifetime's version of a she shed. And now Lifetime is expanding their replacement window division. Make your home energy efficient with their Energy Star rated windows, enclosures, flooring, and windows to fit any and all budgets. Visit the showroom just off Phillips Highway. Proud partners of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Let Lifetime be your home team.
Hey folks, Rick Ballou here for John's Auto. They've been a staple in Jacksonville going all the way back to 1985. At John's Auto, they service all makes, all models, cars, trucks, diesel, you name it, they do it. Whether it's routine maintenance or a complete engine overhaul. Call John's Auto on Arlington Road. That's 904-743-3857 or go to johnsautomotivejacks.com.
We're back! Mia here, and winning season is back. Football is back, and MyBookie is here to make sure you're ready to cash in on the action. This season, MyBookie is pulling out all the stops with incredible promotions, like weekly risk-free boosts on Thursdays, where you can bet without a sweat. If your bet hits, you win big. If it doesn't, forget it. MyBookie will refund your wager. That's just the beginning, folks. MyBookie is giving away hundreds of thousands in prizes with their Super, Survivor, and Squares contests. Get your entries in now for your shot at huge cash rewards. For a limited time, they are bringing back the double deposit bonus. When you're ready to get started, just use promo code 1010XL to claim a bonus that doubles your money on your very first deposit. You heard that right. Double your money with promo code 1010XL before you even place a bet. Not to mention, loyalty pays off with MyBookie Plus. The more you play, the more you win. Climb through tiers of loyalty rewards programs to unlock even more epic promotions. Only with MyBookie.
Hey everybody, Mike Dempsey here for Dandy Foods. Dandy subs and sandwiches. Look, we always want you to think about those great options as you're driving around Duval. But the beauty is, even as I'm dropping pounds, Dandy's got great options for me as well. Told you all about their protein packs, delicious salads that they have out there. They have fruit cups for on the go. You know what they have. Veggie snack trays. You can grab those on the go as well. Perfect, healthy snack. Dandy is the name to know when you're on the go. So stop into a Gate store anywhere around Duval and make yours a Dandy, and do it today.
Don't be sidelined from an injury that keeps you out of the game. Get the care the pros receive. Now available at Injury Care Centers, newly FDA regenerative treatments that will significantly shorten your recovery time. Sprains, strains, fractures, post-op surgeries, cut your recovery time in half or shorter. Masking pain just makes it worse. Fix it now. Call 904-783-0008. That's 904-783-0008. Injury care starts at Injury Care Centers.
They're out to test our reputation as the best plumber in Jax, so we gotta play like the experts we are. Now, who are we?
Roland Reach Plumbing!
Now that's what a winner sounds like.
Customers always win with Roland Reach Plumbing at plumberinjax.com.
Need or want cash? Beach's Jewelry and Pawn has cash available. Ready to buy guitars, surfboards, jewelry, firearms, tools, and especially gold. They need it all, selling or pawning. Get cash on the spot at Beach's Jewelry and Pawn in Jacksonville Beach.
1010XL is presented by Farrah & Farrah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. This is XL Primetime, brought to you by Florida Home AC. Now that's cool on 1010XL.
All right, we are cranking along, having a good time. 3 o'clock hour. We try and use as much of it for the things you care most about. Jaguars after an 0-2 start, getting ready for a Monday nighter against the Buffalo Bills. And then, of course, all your college football. It just slips away so fast. And so we come out of Sunday.
Already week 4.
Yeah. We come out of Sunday, and we're trying to solve all the problems at the bank.
Too many.
And there were a bunch of them. And so we almost lose sight of what happened on Saturday. We saw Georgia and Kentucky in a heavyweight fight. Big Searcy and I were talking about that yesterday.
Hey, listen, best game of the year.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't need the 50-49. Listen, that 13-12 game was probably the most entertaining game I watched all year.
And so we got to get back to some of the stuff that we saw. So let's, RJ, you got our open. Let's do our open and let's get to it, man.
Time to drop some college knowledge on XL Primetime. Brought to you by Modelo, the official beer of the College Football Playoff.
That they're going to be there for the College Football Playoff. You will as well. This is the first time we're seeing a group of 12 playoff teams compete for that natty. So let's get to it. XLP to the CFB with our top 12. And the Big Search, we've been going 12 down to 1. We've definitely had changes from week 1 to week 2, of course, compared to our preseason. Let's get it started, man. 12 to 9.
12 to 9. At number 12, I've got USC. What? Not so fast.
Yeah,
Lee Corso on you right there. You got a good group of what?
Group of 5. Give them some love, man.
Northern Illinois.
Okay.
You got 11?
Okay. I got him at 12.
You got 12. Okay.
I got him at 12. At 12, I got Northern Illinois.
Right.
Now, 11, I got Penn State. At 10, I've got Oregon. At 9, I got Mizzou.
All right.
Okay. It's. I tell you what, Missouri was a little bit like Boston College.
Good team.
Gave them a good game.
Yeah.
That was a 2-touchdown point spread between the two, and it took a while for Missouri to get going. All right, so that's his 12 down to 9.
Again, BC was a couple plays away from scoring 49 in Florida State. So that's a good team.
Yeah.
My 12 is Memphis. Just like what they did. I know their other 2 games aren't that impressive, but going to Italia and physically standing up to Florida State and trading blows, I liked it. I liked it a lot. My 11 is Oregon. They reset a bit against Oregon State. I still have a lot of questions.
Yeah, but they almost put a 50 burger on them. So
they did. Still have questions about that O-line. 10 is Mizzou, and honestly, the sneaky game with BC got another sneaky game this week against Vandy. Even though Vandy lost last week to Georgia State, sneaky game. Well, they should be fine there. And then my 9 is USC. It all looks really good. Big Ten opener this weekend at Michigan, who now has benched Davis Warren for Alex Orji. So it'll be interesting to see what happens in Michigan.
It's so funny because I did my field of 12, and I counted them up, and I got 2 5s. I got 13. Okay, so I got to kick somebody to the curb, and this is ever-changing, so I'm just going to do it because I'll just be honest. I'm trying to jam as many SEC teams in there as I possibly can. That's just the way it is right now. All right, Memphis is number 12 out of the group of 5. Yes, impressive. What they have been able to do post Mike Norvell, you got to give them credit. So 12 to them. Oregon, who I did not have in my college football playoff top 12 for a while, I'm putting them back in. 49-14 winners over Oregon State, the game formerly known as the Civil War. And so that moved them back into the top 12. After that, I've got Penn State. Nope, check that. Hit erase and move USC up into that 10th spot. That's the team I'm getting rid of, at least for this week. I've got Southern Cal 10th, and I've got Utah 9th. The Utes with an impressive win. All right, let's go 8 to 5.
All right, my number 18, the Volunteers, Tennessee Volunteers. I got them at number 8. Their firepower offensively, boys, is unmatched right now. Now, when they get into a little tougher schedule, they've got what? This week, they got OU. That should be a great game. Can't wait for it.
Well, they have 67-0 at halftime last week.
Oof. Yeah. That's just overindulgence.
Yeah.
All right. At number 7, I got Ole Miss. At number 7. Number 6, I got Bama. I got Alabama. Boy, they took them behind the woodshed against Wisconsin. I don't know. Whoever thought that was going to be actually a decent game. I knew Bama was going to beat them to death.
Matt said he couldn't get away from those 17 points, and it just was a whooping.
It was.
Up in Wisconsin.
It was. So I got Bama at number 6. At number 5, Georgia.
Okay. All right.
Actually penalized them.
All right, so real quick, before you do your Final Four, because Matt's got to do his 8 to 5, I got to do mine, but just real quick, that group of teams right there.
Well, listen, I didn't want to penalize Georgia for out because it was a fist fight in Kentucky. But when you're the number one team in the country and you were favored by 30-something points, you win by one. I had to do it.
Okay. All right, Matty. 8 to 5.
They're the exact same as Leon. I got Tennessee at 8. Nothing like returning their home to OU. Josh Heupel with the hottest offense in the nation. Ole Miss at 7. All looks great, but it's against overmatched teams. Number 6 is Alabama. By the way, I told you guys this in the break. They got 2 weeks to prepare for Georgia. Alabama has won 8 of the last 9 meetings by an average of 11 points against Georgia. The only one they lost was the national championship game. So
yeah, that's a pretty good little run right there.
Really good run. And 5, of course, is not Texas anymore. It's now Georgia.
Okay, so coming to our side, our way.
Only because, it was a rock fight. The Kentucky game was a rock fight, and it was a classic. The SEC team played poor the week before, and now all of a sudden they're readjusted. And I'm telling you right now, by the way, Mississippi State, who played poor last week against Toledo, will readjust, and they will play well this weekend.
And the thing with Kirby
against the Gators.
Kirby doesn't necessarily invite that type of game because they could have lost that game. But he'll coach off of that game. There's no question about that. All right, so real quick, let's just go 8 to 5 with mine. I have Alabama 8th because they, like we said, they beat the tar out of whiskey, knocked Tyler Van Dyke out of that game, and then the Badgers had no chance after that. Tennessee is next, and I'm kind of back and forth with these two. I'm putting Tennessee 7th and Ole Miss 6th, and I'm not quite sure that if you asked me again tomorrow that I wouldn't flip them because Ole Miss. Who would I pick in that game? I really don't know, but I'm going to go Tennessee.
That's a fun game. That would be a fun game.
Yeah, Volunteers, then Ole Miss, and then I'll go Georgia as that 5th team overall because of the reasons you guys just listed. I had Georgia 5th last week, so I have no problem backing it up this week. 4 to 1.
All right, number 4, I got the Utes at number 4. At number 3, I got the Canes. Got a big game this Saturday.
Yes, they
do. On the road. USF. They play Alabama tough. We should still win.
Find out what Coach Golich or the future Florida coach is all about. Go ahead.
Number 2, I got the Buckeyes, and at number 1, I got Hook'em Horns.
Okay.
Texas Longhorns.
Yeah, hard to argue. You're 4 to 1, Matt.
I think it's fun that you haven't gotten away from Utah. You're still there, even though
I'm still there.
Even though Cam Rising may not play this week again, he's got a cut on his finger.
Yeah, and they played the in-state rival, not a very good Aggie team, but anyway, they took care of it.
And by the way, the new Utah quarterback is Isaac Wilson, who is the brother of Zach Wilson.
Yes. All right, what do you got?
My 4 is Oklahoma State. They play host to Utah this week. It's going to be a fun
really big game,
man. Really fun game. My 3 is Miami. They opened the upper deck, by the way, at Raymond James Stadium for this game because students bought so many tickets.
I thought it was because the Hurricanes are traveling.
They might even get a sellout. Might even get a sellout in this game. Ooh. See what he did to you there by saying he thought the Hurricanes were traveling?
That's all right.
No respect. You beat him 41-17. He's still
we're not worried.
Respect,
listen, when the playoffs start, they'll be home watching us.
By the way, you guys did get plenty of camera time in that game, Hog 31. You definitely got. You may not have filled up the stadium, but you got plenty of camera time.
My number 2 is Ohio State, and I don't like it. I don't like the fact that I'm just slotting them in there because I don't know that they are number 2. They played 2 cupcake games. They got another one this week against Marshall after an open week. I mean, let's see something from them. And then number 1 is Texas, and I don't care who plays quarterback right now. They're playing as well as anybody.
The spoils of what Sarkisian has at Texas is to lose Quinn Ewers, who was balling against Michigan, and then just say, hey, Arch, we finally need you. Step in. And then he took off and had that big run and all the other stuff. So anyway, I got 4 to 1. Iowa State, that's still my pick in the Big 12. I've got Miami 3. Ohio State, and it's only by default, Matty, because we just barely put Oregon back in, or at least I just barely put them back in, because that was the only other team that I was enamored with in the Big 10. USC a little bit, but I wasn't ready to push them all the way up there. And then Texas number 1. So that's where we're at. XOP, CFP.
I'll tell you what, the Texas quarterback situation right now, it's not talent-wise, but situational-wise, is very similar to what happened in 2021 at Georgia. JT Daniels got all the preseason Heisman hope. Gets the oblique injury early in week 2.
Yeah.
and he just keeps missing games. He's week to week. He's week to week, and then Stetson comes in there, and boom, away it goes.
Away they took
and
off.
Right now, yours has an oblique injury. He's also week to week.
Yeah.
And we saw what Arch Manning did.
Yeah, the only thing I would debate you on is that JT Daniels came in with hope, whereas Quinn Ewers came in with accomplishments and stats.
Well, I mean, JT played really well the last 5 games of the previous season
Before
when he finally got in.
Yeah.
No, for Georgia of the COVID season. He played really well, actually.
Yeah, Quinn Ewers had himself a year last year.
He did, there's no doubt.
Yeah,
But if you get to the point where he's out for a couple games and Arch Manning plays really well, you're going to have to make a decision.
Could have happened, honestly, better for them to have that guy as a backup. All right, CFP from XLP, thanks to Modelo, the official beer of the College Football Playoff. We're about to wrap ours up. We'll keep it going until the Frangie Show takes over at 4.
The First Coast Honda Dealer Studios on 1010XL.
Hello, this is Father Nicholas Lowe, and I want to talk to you about putting your worries in the right bucket. So often we put our worries in our own bucket, but many times they need to be in God's bucket. The Bible says, present your problems always to God. In other words, leave them in God's bucket. Understanding that no matter what is out of your control, it's never out of the control of Almighty God.
To hear more inspirational messages by Reverend Dr. Nicholas Lowe, please visit our website at stjohnthedivine.com.
Frank Frangie here. It's time for Bravo Days, Jacksonville's only Car Bravo certified sales event at Nimnik Buick GMC. Now, for a limited time, enjoy rates as low as 1.9% APR or $500 in down payment assistance on Car Bravo certified vehicles at Nimnik. Now is the time to shop certified used vehicles and buy with confidence at Nimnik Buick GMC. Shop online at nimnikbuickgmc.com. GMC, we are professional grade.
I'm Chris Campione. Auto accidents can leave you feeling lost and overwhelmed. But at Campione Law, we're here to guide you with a personal touch through every step of the process. We don't get paid unless you get paid. CampioneLaw.com.
Count on Campione. Campione Law.
When you're shopping for insurance, you might say,
What? Huh? I'm so over this.
but what you really need to say is something that could actually help.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
When you get a local State Farm agent, they can help make it easy and help you choose the coverage you need. Plus, they're available online, over the phone, or even in person.
I'm so into this.
Call State Farm agent Ron McCann in Orange Park at 269-1313.
Hi, I'm Frank Frangie, and I've depended on South State for my banking needs as long as they've been serving Duval. Whether you're saving for retirement, purchasing a home, starting a business, your goals are their commitment. With forward-thinking, personalized banking solutions and best-in-class service, South State is ready to help you navigate your financial journey. Connect at southstatebank.com or drop by any of the 5 local South State offices. South State Bank, member FDIC. Equal housing lender.
This date in sports history is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On September 17, 2004, MLB legend San Francisco Giants outfielder Barry Bonds hits his 700th career MLB home run, joining Babe Ruth and Hank Aaron to reach this milestone.
Frank Frangie here for Stanley Pools. You know, pool design has come a long way, and if your pool is outdated, Stanley Pools specializes in bringing older pools up to date for the whole family to enjoy. That's why I did it a few years ago, and man, I love the way my pool looks now after we added travertine pavers and so much else. Stanley Pools has been serving our community since 1988. So call them today at 269-7277 or find them online at stanleypoolsfl.com. That's Stanley Pools, a family tradition of fine swimming pools.
To get this thing unwrapped here.
Praz, what in the world are you doing working on your Duval?
That's right, man. I really identify with Duval.
You live in St. Johns County, knucklehead.
I mean the Duval sub, the Dailies Dash Duval. Turkey, ham, melted cheddar, and habanero jack cheeses. Lettuce, tomato, crispy and fresh, you know, like me. I'm sure there's a Dailies Dash sub that sums you up.
The boss.
Because, of course.
Oven roasted beef, Munster cheese, roasted mushrooms, caramelized onions. It's the boss of all subs. Only available for me.
That's just not true.
What do you mean? I walked in the other day, screamed, "You know it!" and said, "A boss for a boss."
Well, no matter who you are, there is a Dailies Dash sandwich or sub for you.
Go find yours. They may even make you a boss.
I'm sure they will, because it is Dailies Dash.
Where more is better.
And you got that right.
It's storm season, and JEA is committed to keeping you informed. In the event of a storm, we'll text and email you about the status of your services. We use Facebook and X to post real-time updates. Our live outage map on JEA.com lets you track restoration progress. And as crews work to restore services, our storm outreach team will be in local neighborhoods to answer your questions. Because as your community utility, JEA is here to keep you safe and connected. Your community, your utility.
Want to be up close and personal with the Jaguars as they take the field? Here's your chance to be in the shadows, outside the Jaguars locker room, now called the Vault. Enter today at everbank.com/shadows. One winner and a guest for every home game at Everbank Stadium. No purchase necessary to enter or win. Open to legal residents of 50 United States and D.C. 18 and older. Entry periods for the Shadow Sweepstakes promotion from 8/19/24 to 12/15/24. For official rules and complete details, visit everbank.com/shadows. Sponsored administrator, Everbank N.A. member FDIC.
At the First Coast YMCA, you'll find much more than just a gym. We offer many ways to help you be active, reach weight loss goals, and find your inner strength while you connect with your community. Family memberships at the Y include unlimited group exercise classes, childcare while you work out, and youth sports participation. It's easy to join the Y and affordable for all. Plus, the Y is a great place to meet a new circle of friends. Visit the Y near you or online at fcymca.org.
For the greenest, luscious lawn on the block, choose the local legends, Roundtree Sod. Don't just settle for ordinary. Let Roundtree Sod deliver you a picture-perfect lawn. To get a free estimate, call 7414-SOD. 7414-SOD.
Hey, it's Mike Dempsey, and you know how I feel about Pella Windows and Doors. Great design, strongest warranties, and the highest quality product. I even chose Pella Windows for my own home. And whether you're a homeowner replacing windows or building a new home or a trade professional working with clients, I know the design experts at Pella will help your project run smoothly and look great. Visit PellaJacks.com or the Pella showroom on Phillips Highway at Pella Windows and Doors.
This is Dr. Michael Iorio, internal medicine physician for your Jacksonville Jaguars. Here's the latest update on the Jaguars, brought to you by Baptist Health and JOI.
Pro Football Hall of Famer Tony Baselli on the state of the Jaguars' offensive line.
We were told all offseason that they were very confident in their group and they felt like they just needed to be healthy. The only change they were going to make was at center, because they went and got Mitch Morse. There were a lot of people who thought they should be more aggressive on the offensive line, make changes, whatever. They said, Trent, Doug, the group said, nope, we're good. We are good with what we got. Did nothing in the draft outside of drafting a fourth rounder that's not going to play this year. If he does, that's not good. And so I think people are like, well, wait a second. You guys told us this was the group.
Tony Baselli on Jaguars Happy Hour. I'm Andrew Gibson with your Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute Jaguars update.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, the cool down from the cool guys at Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing. Fast, reliable, and honest service since '87.
What my takeaway is that this team needs a good old-fashioned offensive meeting. Get your stuff together meeting. And it's week 2. That's very sad. It's week 2, and they need a meeting. They need a sit-down meeting amongst each other and find a way to clear this thing up, because it's bad ball. And if you lose these next 2 weeks, it's really bad ball. So you need to stop the bleeding now. Where's the tourniquet? You need to find a way to get it done this game against Buffalo.
You can't just automatically just get stronger and bigger and get dog.
You can't, bro, but you got to do something, bro.
Let me tell you.
You either do something to bleed out. What you going to do? You going to get the tourniquet or you going to bleed out?
You can turn it on a dime. On a dime.
You can turn it on a dime? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
I can't wait to see that. All right. My takeaway is we got a little revisionist history on the text line here. We got a guy talking about how Tennessee and there's no way Heupel would go. Why would you guys say Heupel would go to Florida? Well, first off, we didn't say Heupel would go to Florida. We said he'd be a guy that I would go after him if I was Florida. Throw money at him, see what he says. And by the way, he's talking about Tennessee's a squeaky clean program.
Let me read it real quick. Y'all continue to amaze me here in Florida. You're so out of touch to think Josh Heupel would not just deny, but throw up at the fact to come to Florida. Tennessee is a tradition and a class act, There are no Netflix docs about UT like there are about Florida. The only sad moment I have, Texter, is that Tebow should have went to a better Christian school.
Oh boy.
Yeah,
I mean, the reality is, there were problems on Herb. There's no doubt about it. I mean, but I don't know if this guy remembers. It was only about, 4 years ago when their coach was, and his wife were giving cash to players in paper bags.
Yeah, are you referring to Jeremy Pruitt and the
Pruitt,
McDonald's bags?
The PE coach
Greasy.
and his wife were giving players cash in bags.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, here's your happy
There's
meal.
your great, what did he say? It was a Christian school?
Yeah, forget about that. But just there's your happy meal full of cash. And by the way, Tennessee, to finally get where they needed to be.
Nobody in college football is holier than thou, okay?
Yeah.
It's a dirty, slimy business.
You better believe it. And I always like quoting one of the great writers, Knoxville News, Mr. Adams.
Yeah.
When he said, when they finally, remember, they had Lane Kiffin, and then he bolted for USC. They got in trouble, probation. Then they tried to go get somebody else, had to settle on
14 secondary violations in 14 months.
Yeah. And then they had Derek Dooley. And then they had Jeremy Pruitt and Phil Fulmer flying all around.
Missing Butch Jones, man.
Yeah, and Butch Jones, Sergeant Carter. I forgot all about him. And all that stuff that they had to go through to finally land on Heupel.
Remember the turnover trash can where they were running around the sideline with a big trash can with
Sergeant Carter
with a checkerboard orange and white wrapped around it, and they were literally running around with a trash can.
Unbelievable. Honestly. Now, I am of the opinion that Josh Heupel would not.
I don't think he would either. I'm just
Knoxville.
No, I don't think he will either. My point was, if you're Florida, go throw money at people.
Yeah. And by the way, when he did go to Tennessee, Danny White was his athletics director that left Central Florida, that went up there and immediately said, that's going to be my guy. As soon as they got on the field, you saw what the product was.
Right.
You knew
immediately
what it looked like, and it looked good.
And you knew, okay, when he gets dudes, they're going to be really good.
Yeah.
And now he's got dudes.
And he's got dudes. And he's got them on both sides of the ball.
Yeah, they're good.
It just gets you. My takeaway is that Philadelphia took something away from me last night because minus 5.5, you had it in the bag, and you decided to not run the football first, which would have taken 40 seconds off the clock, and then throw it right to Saquon Barkley. And I actually felt bad for Saquon at the end of this game, but he had it in his mitts and blew it. And they lost the game, and now they're second-guessing everything up there, from Nick Sirianni to Kellen Moore to Saquon to everything like that. But if you're looking for a silver lining, Pittsburgh with 6 field goals beat Atlanta week 1 when the Falcons were at home, and Philadelphia went to Brazil and took care of business against Green Bay. And Atlanta went up there and wore them out last night. They did. And there are probably as many questions as answers for Philadelphia up there because they just look a little discombobulated on both sides of the ball. Kirk Cousins made himself some plays last night, and Philadelphia had that game and could not get it.
What about that unsportsmanlike conduct when Drake London scored that touchdown? Yeah. He wants the machine gun. And by the way, they missed the extra point because of that, bro. Come on.
Yeah, that and Chauncey Gardner-Johnson luckily had the flag picked up because he ripped his helmet off, and he said it was popped off, and it was not. And so he was lucky there. He's like, come on, guys. Anyway, that one got me. That's for sure. Because I was convinced. So from week 1 to week 2, you have seen some teams that have been able to turn it around. I don't know if you see 2 weeks of disappointment and you can turn it around, but I believe it's possible. But Atlanta did not look that good in week 1. Looked really pretty darn good last night. Take a look at the Vegas Raiders. They lost to Jimmy Harbaugh and the Chargers and then go on the road and hand Baltimore their second loss of the season.
That's what's so disappointing about the Jaguars because it's supposed to be this jump from week 1 to week 2. All right, this team was playing on all cylinders in week 1 for the first 2.5 quarters. I mean, they look good, executing well, running the ball, play action, all that kind of stuff. And you thought you were going to see a little bit of that, more of that this week, and it was just so disappointing to see this team struggle the way they struggled the whole game. I mean, at halftime, Trevor had 12 yards, bro.
Yeah. It's just
or
really,
16, whatever the hell it was.
16,
It was under
yeah.
20. How about that?
Yeah. We are splitting hairs if we're going to say, wait a minute, give him 16. Because that's how bad it was.
It was.
And 4 targets, 2 catches for Brian Thomas Jr.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of things that they really need to drill down on. And like I said, it falls at the feet of the head coach. Yeah. But at the same time, I don't know if there is infighting, but they had better figure that part of it out.
Well, I mean, that's the reason why I was talking about the offensive meeting. I mean, there's got to be a meeting amongst themselves to kind of figure this thing out. And whoever's playing bad ball, address it. Mm-hmm. Trevor's got to come and, hey, listen, I'm not playing that well, but I'll be damned if I take all the blunt of the blame. Mm-hmm. You're not. You need to start pointing at offensive line. You got to block better. You got to protect. You got to run better. Running backs, you got to hold on to the ball. Can't fumble and all that. Wide receivers, get open. Christian Kirk, you my guy. You've been on the milk carton the last 2 weeks.
Really?
Where the hell have you been?
Yeah.
And Strange, hey, great job coming in there. Hey, Brian Thomas, I got to give you more balls.
Right.
I got to take more shots with you. I mean, those are the kind of conversations that you got to have with the team. You got to be. It's got to be some truth serum in those meetings.
Mm-hmm.
Can't come in there with thin skin. If you're not playing good ball, it needs to be addressed amongst the players on the team.
I felt
especially offensively.
Yeah, and I felt like Doug had made a commitment by cleaning house on one side of the ball and making some changes that we would see a more organized, a more passionate, a more focused and driven team. And unfortunately, right now, that is not the case. Now, you want to talk about passion, focused, driven? This guy.
Now, the 2-minute drill, brought to you by Injury Care Centers. Discover BioTarget Regenerative Therapy, a safer drug-free solution for lasting pain relief. Visit GoBioTarget.com.
The embedded and shredded, I passion, driven.
I mean, you'd like to think so. I mean, it'd be nice if we had something that we could actually be enthusiastic about. I have enthusiasm within me, but it's got to come out through positive results on the gridiron.
So spin off of what I just said, because Doug, like, as much as I labeled him the most professional hire this team has ever hired since Tom Coughlin, and I still believe that to be true. But Hayes, man, they were supposed to look a little more passionate, organized.
I tell you, it's pretty frightening because the narrative nationally is starting to become the Jaguars are the new Chargers. I mean, I don't know if you guys saw Bill Simmons went off on the Jaguars and how pathetic the coaching has been. You're starting to see it in power rankings. Most of the comments are directed towards, are the coaches kind of circling the drain in Jacksonville? I mean, it's becoming a storyline, and it's certainly not too late. And maybe they'll be 2-2 in 12 days. Mm-hmm. I mean, we'll see. And if they are, then great, and things will certainly be back on track, and everybody will be really excited. But I mean, look, when you're 1-7 in your last 8 games, I mean, that's not a small sample size. That's almost half a season.
Yeah.
Now, granted, it's over the course of 2 seasons.
Right.
But I mean, when you're 1-7 in your last 8 games, I think it's fair for people to be critical of are you going to be able to turn this around?
Mm-hmm.
And so we'll see. I mean, again, hopefully they can. I think they have talent. Every team has holes. So in the league, even the Chiefs. So, I mean, it's just, can you coach around your weaknesses? And I don't think they have a ton of weaknesses, but the offensive line is one.
Yeah.
And they're going to have to figure out a way to manage that. And, we'll see if they're able to do that against 2 incredibly difficult tests starting Monday night at Buffalo. So we'll get into that on the Frangie Show. We got a lot of fun stuff coming up. We'll have a scholar athlete. We certainly enjoy that. We'll have Tony Barnhart joining us for our College Football Insider. And Matty Hayes is going to talk a little SEC football as well. Yeah, so it's going to be a fun Frangie Show coming up.
All right, buddy. Sounds good. We will be listening. Hayes, France, JJ. They will definitely drill down. Jags, college, all of it coming up. We had a good time today. Appreciate all y'all hanging out with us. You missed any of the show, all you got to do is go back and hit the stream. YouTube, just search XL Primetime. You can watch the whole thing because we have plenty that we were digging into today. Thanks to Beaver Chevy, Beaver Toyota, both of them online and on the lot, ready to treat you the way you expect to be treated when it comes to a car purchase. They are there to wow you. Check them out, Beaver Chevy and Beaver Toyota. We're done. Joe C., Matty Hayes, Big Search, and RJ. You got the Francis Show on the way.
Yeah, I mean, we suck right now, so I don't.
Scared money don't make money, you know?